Well, hello, somebody. Welcome to Inside the Trenches, Inside the Saints edition. I'm your host, Marlon Big Faith Favorite Wright. Joining me on the show, I got that boy Fred from FanView, baby.
Y'all know what it is.
All day, every day. Y'all make sure y'all check out FanView podcast as well, right here on the New Orleans Talk Network. It's ESPN New Orleans 100.3 on demand. And yes, indeed, we're talking about your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints, baby. That is right. Couple OTAs now in the sheets. Or should I say the books?
The books.
Them books, baby. And, Coach is pretty optimistic about his team right now, Fred. I think he feel like they're headed in the right direction here with organized team activity going on this summer.
In the words of CEO, he better. He better.
You better. So with that being said, since this show is called Inside the Trenches, I want to take a little time and let's hear from the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, Coach Dennis Allen, and his team, his offensive line in particular. Let's see what he said at one of the practices.
On the offensive line, I'm looking for guys like Eric McCoy and Cesar Ruiz to step up and have a leadership role in that room, and hold the guys, because there's some young guys that are going to be playing on the offensive line. That's going to happen, and so those guys have to do a great job of holding those guys accountable to the standard, because the standard is the standard regardless of first-year player or 15-year vet.
That was New Orleans Saints head coach Dennis Allen speaking very candidly to the public yesterday, or the media, should I say, about his stance on his leaders. Now leaders, these guys aren't young players in the league anymore. Cesar Ruiz and Eric McCoy has enough games under their belt to be considered veterans. Fred, when you hear Coach Allen speak that way about those guys, it's a good thing to hear because you want leadership, especially up front. But, just listening to Coach, your thoughts.
Well, first and foremost, I agree with Coach. However, Ryan Ramczyk name was not mentioned. He's the most experienced guy on this O-line. He's the guy who has multiple, Pro Bowls. Why not his name be mentioned on this O-line? But to add to the point, guys like Max Unger, who was a former center on this team, to be a team captain, right? Guys like Jonathan Goodwin, who they helped win the Super Bowl here, played center. So I can understand why DA still wants a center, somebody, a centerpiece of the line, to still be a leader and push some of these younger guys. And he's using Eric McCoy because Eric McCoy is regarded as one of the top centers in this league. And Cesar Ruiz, who they gave an extension to, who's going to be around for some more time, is asking these guys to step up and take more of a leadership role and help these younger guys come up. So I understand why he mentioned those two, but I've got a question mark for you, DA, by not naming Ryan Ramczyk too.
And I think with Ryan Ramczyk deal, we don't know if he's going to play this season or when he's going to come back. And you're right, he has that Pro Bowl under his belt, and he is the most experienced guy. You would say your fierce leader in that unit. But I think what DA was getting at is seeing other guys step up in that role. I can remember my days at LSU when Kyle Roten and when Kyle Williams and Claude Roten, left, it was time for guys like myself, Glenn Darcy, Charles Alexander to step up to the plate and be leaders on that interior line. Right. So it is important because you said it like a Max Unger. And even we've seen this in Philly with Jason Kelsey being that guy up front. And then I think another thing he's looking at last year, one of our fourth-round draft picks actually traded up to get him, Nick Salavera. He's young, right?
Right.
Fuaga, he's young.
He's young.
So with Cesar Ruiz and McCoy, both of those guys being on a team now a few years, I guess he's looking for them to probably be more vocal leaders.
Yes, they've been here, and they played in those games. So you talking about Cesar Ruiz has now been in 3-4 seasons now?
Yeah.
I know that for sure for Max Unger. So, yes, it is time for those guys to take on leadership roles. But anytime you get players who are on their second contract with the organization, and we're not talking about because they were undrafted free agents. We're talking about some former first and second round picks. Yes, it's your time. the offensive line goes as far as guys like Eric McCoy, Cesar Ruiz goes. And to be frankly honest, this offense will go as far as one of those two guys decide to bring it.
Yeah, especially this style. And just to stay on the offensive line, we had a chance to watch the team periods, and I like how the first thing I noticed was how tight their stance were. Like your typical offensive line stance, like the gaps between like the guard and the center,
right,
the guard and the tackle, is typically like a foot. Like if someone wears like a size 12 shoe, it's typically the length of that. And then you, of course, sit on the heels of the center. Well, with these guys, they're much tighter. So I don't know if it's the way
Kubiak
definitely. And it makes me want to go back and watch that film from the 49ers games last year. I wanted to see how tight those guys' stance are, because what that does for a defensive lineman, it makes it hard for us to shoot the gap. Right. So when they're and especially when the steps were extremely uniform as well. It's Inside the Trenches. It's your host Marlon Big Favor, right? You're now tuned into Inside the Saints, where we talk exclusively about the New Orleans Saints. OTAs, whether it's a new player on the team, whether we're in the mid-season and we just getting y'all caught up on the Saints, we want to get things, that information out to you guys. And we're just going brief observation off the few OTA practices that we've seen.
Now, I want to bring this up. It shows that in the practices, obviously, we're looking at it right here, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, my bad.
If we're looking at it, right, that's me. Trevor Penning is showing at right tackle.
Yeah.
Former first-round pick. We're entering season 3. Is he going to be a permanent right tackle? Is he going to be our backup for Ryan Ramczyk? So that's a question mark that we're going to have, because at the end of the day, we still got to find production out of our former first-round pick. So if he can pick up that slack and Ryan Ramczyk is maybe miss some games or not be ready for training camp or maybe not ready for the season, I mean, we could have some, cause obviously Fuaga looks like he's going to be the guy that's going to probably get the reps and opportunity at left tackle.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like Trevor Penning is not going to be experimenting at left tackle anymore. We're looking at right tackle now, because that's where he's at, OTA's at, and probably going to start camp there and kind of see going forward.
And I think that's probably one of the more frustrating things for me, man, when I look across this offense and defensive line. You see 2 first-rounders and Peyton Turner and then now in Trevor Penning. Both of those guys are second string at their positions.
They're bad. They're bad.com. They're bad. They're bad.
Everything that I've been doing is all bad.
Yes.
Bad.com. Shout out to Free with the bad.com. And I did, like, just the brief observations. First and foremost, at the OTA practices, it's hard to see the D-line go through their drills. Like, they're far away. You can't really – you can, if you look over there and try to take a peek, you might can see some parts of it, but
you need binoculars, man. You need binoculars over there.
That's probably what I'm gonna have to get. I mean, I have my glasses on.
Glasses ain't gonna cut it, man.
It's not. You're gonna need the glasses.
You need a different type of vision.
Yes, indeed.
You got to see the landscape, baby. You got to see the landscape. You got to get higher. Get higher.
One of the two.
Get on top of the facility.
And one of the practices Mike was at, he tried to catch the angle but you can't get the whole line in a shot. But, I tried to, like you said, use the eye view, and I had to get the binoculars to get that bird eye view.
Yeah, get the bird eye view, baby.
So we could see clear. But I did see him in a couple of team practices get back to add some pressures along with Foskey. As a matter of fact, Foskey had a pressure so well it and he tipped the ball and it caused the interception by Demario Davis.
Right.
So I thought that was cool at one of the practices as well.
And I think he's going to have a second. I think he's going to be that kid where, obviously, rookie year, a lot of expectations come out of Notre Dame and didn't live up to it. Got some special teams rep, but not so much defensive rep. Obviously, Carl Granderson gets the extension during the season. He doesn't really get in that rotation. But I think, he's going to come in and plug himself in this year. Him and Chase Young are going to be kind of battling it out for a lot of those reps. And I think we're going to look for some promise throughout the season from him. Expect some big things.
Definitely. And you think of a guy like even Taysom Hill. You're seeing him now at the running back position. That's cool to watch because you've seen how successful the San Francisco 49ers running game was last year. And to see a lot of that pre-snap motion going on, Taysom getting the ball at the running back. I mean, you still see him go out at tight end. He's still in special teams as well as a returner.
He's an X factor. He's a Swift Army knife. I would like to say, he can do it all. Player. He's a great football player. And when you can line Taysom Hill by the running back, tight end, wide receiver, special teams, you get to expect great things. He's going to make a play. And that's what you need on offense, guys who can make a football play. I just hope that he limits the amount of fumbles that he has. But if he can do that, then Taysom Hill is an excellent football player. Bottom line.
He's going to do the football thing.
Yeah.
And what I see already, Coach Kubiak sees that we can use this dude in multiple ways to where it won't seem obvious what role he's about to play on this particular play. We've seen him blocking at practice. We've seen him catching out of the backfield. We've seen him getting the ball handed off to him out of the backfield.
Yeah.
I just like that this dynamic is so interesting. Speaking of Taysom Hill getting the ball, it has to get handed off to him by the quarterback. Just wanted to talk about the quarterback carousel on a practice we attended. At that one, Derek Carr was 4 for 8 and caused the interception. Jake Haener didn't look bad at all based off our observations, but he was 5 for 7, 3 for 3, and 7 ons, and he threw a touchdown. Now, Nathan Peterman.
Not a bad one. He bad all over. He not even .com. He bad all over.
He was 1 for 2, 0 for 2 and 7s, and he threw an interception.
See, this Nate Peterman thing. He bad. Mediocrity.com. Don't know why we got him. He getting the reps. You could get Taysom Hill back there.
But I like what Taysom's at right now. We'll say that.
Yeah,
we do. We
appreciate Taysom's role when he's doing.
But don't be surprised if he does slide in that quarterback during the season. I'm just saying because when you want to have an offense that throws folks off, he's our running back. You're gonna see him at back, but come on now, this is always about playing that chess match. Now, Spencer Rattler was interesting. He was because he has so much potential. Now, early on in OTAs, when you first get out there, the speed gonna feel different. It will be different, and that's something that early on in the OTAs practices, that's something he had to get adjusted to quick. Which the SEC is a nice pre-NFL in regards to speed and skill set, especially at the cornerback positions and wide receivers. But he was 3 for 4, 2 for 3 and 7s, and he did throw a touchdown. That kid has an arm on him, Fred. He has one arm on him. It's an accurate throw. He was throwing a lot of darts. I saw one pass, 81, I forget his name, pull him up, I want to say at the tight end position. Oh, was that receiver, 81? Well, anyway, whoever wore 81 yesterday, I don't see him on the depth chart, but and I forgot the little sheet. They gave you little white sheets with everybody. Full name, pronunciation, and everything. But anywho, it may have been
Kyle Sheets.
It might have been like a Kyle Sheets or something like that. Yeah, that got in there. But he threw a really nice. It was on a rope to the outside.
Kyle Sheets. That's what he do.
Kyle Sheets. Okay. Good looking out, Fred.
Kyle Sheets. He ended up dropping it.
Yep. He ended up dropping it, but it was a really nice, like, if he would have threw the ball a little bit on the inside, it could have got the pass could have been broken up or picked. I like how he threw it on that tight rope on the outside. The speed, the arm accuracy, it's all there.
Spencer Rattler. Let's get something straight about Spencer Rattler. If you talk about all the tools to be QB1, he has all the physical tools to be QB1. The thing with Spencer Rattler is that how do you want him to manage the way he plays? If that makes sense. And once he adjusts to the speed of the game, the question is, who do you have?
Right.
And right now, he's going to be battling this. We know for sure this season, QB2. Now, Jake Haener ain't trying to give it up.
He's fighting.
He's fighting.
He's my only knock on Jake Haener. He's not big.
Right.
He's so. What type of hits he can take? If you're going to be small, if you're going to be Kyler Murray, can you move like Kyler Murray?
Right.
I mean, I've seen this kid roll out and throw just a tightrope deep ball dart and taking a hit to Hopkins. Remember that a few years back?
Yes.
Nasty catch. And I just feel like if you look at it from the perspective of the quarterback room shaping together, one. Two, you have enough experience in Derek Carr. Like, Derek Carr didn't look bad. I know last season it was a rough season for him, but
he's a pro.
He is, and he has the double-digit years, right? That matters. This guy has started in this league in double-digit years. That does hold weight. It really does, but it's good for that locker room because you have two relatively young quarterbacks. Now, respectively, Nathan Peterman has been around this league in the best situations, but I do got to give respect. Just as a journeyman in this league, it is hard to constantly make a roster, even in the preseason. So he's doing something right, or he has the dopest agent known to man.
I think it's the second one. Because, he got the dopest agent.
Yeah,
because he bad. He bad.
But I think that the staff is familiar with them. And
you seen his interception. He had a pick. That's what he going to do. I-N-T.
Do you know what that means?
Yeah, interception.
Hey, it's Inside the Trenches. Look, me and Fred going to take a quick break. Want to give our sponsors a shout-out. Hey, y'all don't go anywhere. It's Inside the Saints on Inside the Trenches, baby, on ESPN New Orleans. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Hello, somebody. It's the host of Inside the Trenches podcast, Marlon Big Favorite. Did you know Small Sliders had an app? You can go to your Google Play Store or your Apple Store right now, download the Small Sliders app in Marrero, and order your food right now. You want to get a number 2? Well, slide through. 1635 Barataria Boulevard in Marrero. Small Sliders, simple on purpose. Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Picolo at Godwyn Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Picolo and the folks over at Godwyn Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. And also contact Joel at joel.godwynrealty.com. No need to dream anymore. Godwyn Realty will put you in the dream house of your reality. Hello, somebody. Well, hello. It's Marlon Big Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You could do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information. And let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com.
Welcome back, beautiful people. It's Inside the Trenches, Inside the Saints edition. I'm your host, Marlon Big Favorite. I got my main man, Fred, in the building. Thank y'all for sticking around with us. And shout out to our sponsors, Small Sliders, Montero Motors, and Godwyn Realty, and Conquer Sports for all that they do for the show.
You did.
Fred, we spent a little time talking about the quarterbacks. You know, we had to do the offensive line observation. A very important part on the team.
Correct.
Something that we've been looking at, the area that we've been looking to get better. But what I saw out there, too, is a little bit of depth on the defensive line. The guys that participated in the drills, Carl Granderson, Khalid Saunders, Kendall Vickers, Peyton Turner. You had Willie Gay out there, Demario Davis, Pete Warner at the linebacker. And then on the outside, Alante Taylor, Sherman Jeans Charles. I thought he did pretty good yesterday. Jonathan Abram and Will Harris back at the safety position. So obviously a lot of starters out of the deal. Marshawn, Parsons, Adebo, Cam. He was there, but he didn't participate in those team drills.
Right.
You still are missing a couple of guys like Kool-Aid McKinstry, which he should be out there in the next couple of practices before they go on break just to get a little work with the team. When you think of those guys I just rattled off, who are you looking to see more improvement from this season that was on that team last year?
Peyton Turner.
Yes,
Peyton Turner.
Yeah.
Peyton Turner, bottom line. He has to – this is not about him trying to live up to expectations of being a former first-round pick. This is about him being able to know that he could contribute to a football team. Take the first-round bill out the window. We're in season 4. He has to show that he can be a football player in the National Football League. We're still questioning what he has the frame of a DN, the size of a DN, and we're still questioning if he can play DN. So it's about him improving, getting reps, and showing that he can play at this level. In 4 seasons, there's a question mark on Peyton Turner as a player. We don't know what it is. We don't know what the skill set is. We don't know what the talent is. And all the give him time, he's going to be injured. All we know that he hasn't played. That's what we know. And I'm interested in seeing as the OTAs continue, Isaiah Flosky, who was the second-round pick out of Notre Dame last year. So, those 2 guys I'm really interested in. I kind of have an idea what Carl Granderson is going to give me as a starter. We know what Cam Jordan is going to give you. We know Chase Young had the injury before the Saints signed them, and we know that Chase Young's going to be ready at a later date and time. So those 2 guys is who I'm really, really, really focused on. They need as many reps and opportunities as possible, but not, especially for Peyton Turner, is USFL.
Not the UFL.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, Taco Charleston, former first-round pick with the Dallas Cowboys, he played in that league as well.
Yeah.
This past season. So
Michigan Wolverine.
Hey, that's right. Look, of course, Fred had to slide that in there. Shouts out to the Wolverines, huh?
Former first-round pick.
This is a make-or-break year for Peyton Turner, period.
Yes.
He has to perform this year either way the cut goes. If he has a breakout season and the Saints decide that they don't want to continue to, keep him on the team, you want to at least have a situation like Marcus Davenport where someone picks you up in free agency and you still put tape out there. The name of the game is to keep the tape out there.
Correct.
The more tape you have out there, the better position you're in. And this kid, even though he has that first-round tag on him, he doesn't have a lot of production, and that has held him back.
Correct.
And it's tough, really.
It's tough
to be in that position. I mean, he comes from a small school, University of Houston.
Mm-hmm. Still
had a lot of developing to do as a player. But I mean, you see him at practice, Fred. He's huge.
He's huge. He's
a big dude.
Like I said, all the measurables you're asking for in the DN, just no film. At some point in time, we got, as not just us as fans, but people need to see the film. It just has to surface. It has to happen.
Yes, man.
So also for all good signs.
Right. Now, Brian Bruzy still looks impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Kendall Vickner, he's been getting some reps.
Correct.
I mean, you had a lot of, should I say, during the defensive line drills, you got guys looking to get better. I saw it was one part of the practice where, and we used to do this like as a finish-up drill. The coach had the hands on his the padded hand drill, shooting his hand different ways, having them flip and work their hands. So, I mean, you constantly want to work on becoming a better pass rusher. I mean, it's really imperative to the position. Alante Taylor is impressive, bro. I mean,
yes.
I don't know how they're going to figure it out with him in regards to how they're going to keep him on the field with the core group of cornerbacks you have there. Guys proven like Marshawn Lattimore. Talk about Parsons Adebo, who's looking like he's on the verge of getting one of those Ladarius Sneed type contracts, whether it's from the Saints or somebody else. So the secondary looks solid. That's something I'm excited about for this team. we didn't have a lot of depth or good depth on the defensive line over the past four seasons. But through the draft, bringing in guys like Blvd, then coming back the next year in free agency, getting a guy like Chase Young is only going to do good for your team. Yeah.
Listen, that secondary is going to be stout, especially at cornerback. Tyrann Mathieu, obviously he's going to be, one of your safeties, and, we're going to figure out who the other safety is going to be. That's going to be competed for. But, man, that corner position, it's stout. It is stout. And I think that, when Kool-Aid McKinstry gets in, he's going to, bring more competition, be more competitive, and this is going to get the best out of those guys. It's exciting to see. I'm looking forward to it once they all get healthy. I'm looking forward to when the guys at training camp seeing how they compete. But right now, it's really good. And guys like Jonathan Abrams is getting those reps at other safety positions. So it's good to see competition.
I mean, just thinking on the spot here, looking at this roster defensively, the type of players they have, the type of experience, do you think the Saints this football season should have an opportunity to be at least a top 5 defense? Or is that too early, too soon to speak?
Too early, too soon. We still got to figure out what Willie Gay is. We still got to figure out how does he fit on this defense. It's a one-year deal. The Saints have ran pretty much a 5-2 defense for the past several years now, where they really played 2 linebackers in their base set. When you add Willie Gay, you still got Pete. You still got Pete Warner. We know we have DeMario. So now you have 3 linebackers you can play. So now are you going back to what they call a conventional 4-3 base setup versus that 5-2? That's the question mark. And so those are the things that the defense, with OTAs and mini camps and getting up to training camp, they're going to have to figure out. Because to me, Pete Warner has earned to be on the field. He's one of the best, in terms of, coverage safeties. I mean, coverage linebackers you have out there. He can pretty much cover running backs. He can cover tight ends. He can do a lot of coverage things. That's just what Pete Warner specializes at. Same thing that we had when we had Alex Ezelon. He did a lot of that stuff prior to his injuries. So Pete Warner is looking to compete to keep that job, and Willie Gay can do a lot of great things. So that linebacker position is still the defense still needs to figure out how they want to play and what their base defense going to be.
I do think just based off the personnel, a 4-3 defense would be the most appropriate for this team. But like you said, Coach Allen has to figure out how this team is going to mesh defensively in regards to, all right, first down, 1st and 10. Who are your starters, right? 2nd and 5, let's say drive 1, play, 7.
Right.
Who's in the game? 3rd and 15, or like they said, 3rd and forever. Do you have the appropriate packages to put that jet package out there? Who's going out there? Is it a combination? Now, it's week 7, right?
Right.
Combination of Chase Young and Cam Jordan. How you going to do that? You're going to bump Cam inside, jet package, right? Like, those are some of the things, I look at when I say, how is this team going to continue to develop and turn in the right direction? I got to give an SEC cat his props. And, me, Fred, I have a special spot in my heart for guys who are undrafted and don't typically get the opportunities the first rounders get, right? Talking about a guy like Peyton Turner. He hadn't performed like a first round. I got hurt, got a lot of potential with size, but to John Jetcoat, defensive end out of Arkansas, I thought he looked pretty good out there at practice. Big dudes, 6'4", wore number 76. Here's the thing. Well, I think this kid will at least have an opportunity to make the practice squad for the Saints. The SEC, man, we developed, with the exception of LSU last season, there's some coaching issues up front, right? But SEC typically have some really good edge rushes year in and year out.
Yeah.
Really good interior lineman year in and year out. So, I want to use this platform inside the trenches to give an undrafted free agent his props to John Jetcoat, number 76 for the Saints. Thought he looked pretty stout out there.
And this organization has been known to keep an undrafted free agent, particularly at running back and at DN. They have found ways to make this team in more than one way done, because those 2 positions are also going to contribute on special teams. So they found ways to keep guys like that on their team.
No doubt. Well, it's Inside the Trenches, baby. Want to thank y'all for tuning in. Remember, y'all can check this out every week. We go on Inside the Saints right here on Inside the Trenches. Shouts out to that boy Fred for stopping by, joining the segment. Remember, you can follow him at BFred Jones. Am I saying that right on Instagram?
BFred Jones. Oh, I feel like I'm on FanView Live, man. Yeah, I feel like I'm on my podcast.
That's the jam right there, baby. And y'all make sure y'all check out FanView Live podcast. Great interviews, really nice show. And stay tuned right here, ESPN New Orleans On Demand. Remember, y'all can always go to our On Demand app on ESPN1003.com. Go there. You can click on the Inside the Trenches icon and check out this episode and many more. And also check out our other shows, Sports Hangover. We got tons of fun over here at ESPN New Orleans 100.3. And you can also check out our full episodes on New Orleans Talk Network. You could go to their YouTube to see all the full episodes and the couple of other shows that are affiliated with New Orleans Talk Network as well, baby. And yes, indeed, every Monday we're live this summer at Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard in Marrero.
Talk to me now.
Yes, indeed. So come on, cruise down the street right there, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, and join us for our live broadcast, 6 to 8 p.m. every Monday this summer. We out there. DJ Tune on the ones and twos. Might have some live music, some really cool guests. So y'all come join us, have dinner with us then. And remember, if you didn't text that hot list, be sure to text that hot list. Big Fave, BIGFAV to 94253. Get on that exclusive hot list this fall. May be nice. This summer will be hot and great. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, baby. It's Inside the Trenches, Inside the Saints edition. We'll be back. Hello, somebody.